Now here's something new. Can't remember if I've mentioned in past videos that I wanted to start doing some knife making, but well, I do. And so far this is what I've got set up for a little shop here on my workbench. Yes, that's reloading equipment. No, I don't have powder sitting out around the grinder. So before anybody makes a comment about that, the powder is put away in a safe place. It's not exposed to the grinder. The powder measure is empty, completely empty. But I got this little Grizzly 1x30. It does a good job. And I just picked up this Northern Tool drill press. It's a nice little drill press. Nothing big or fancy. Just gets the job done. You can see I've been using it, and I will show you what I have been using it on. Haven't made a knife yet, but I'll show everybody. Right here, I got this knife in trade from a really cool guy on I think it was the Bushcraft Trading Post on Facebook. He made the knife. I'll get it out here. Look at that. That is a nice knife. Now this guy, he's from Canada. We did a trade. And this is what he sent me. I can't remember what he said the wood was for the scales, but I think he did a great job finishing them. They're very, very smooth. I love the blade profile. Great, great bushcraft knife. It feels good in the hand. Fits my hand perfectly. It's got a nice sharp spine for striking a ferro rod. And he put a great edge on it too. But yeah, this is what the first job I did with the drill press was. I made a hybrid Kydex and leather sheath for it, because it didn't come with a sheath. Oh. It's the first time I've ever worked with leather. I do have a little bit of experience with Kydex. I've made a couple sheaths. And each one keeps getting a little bit better. Still got a lot of work to do. A lot of improvements that I can make. You can see how I attached the leather to it. Just used Chicago screws. The belt loop, however, I think I used Chicago screws for that too, because my original intention was to use rivets, or what was it called, ready rivets or quick rivets, something like that. And I was going to do that, but my hole punches, I didn't have one small enough, and so I had to use the Chicago screws instead. But I don't like how wide this belt loop is, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the leather off, and I'm going to trim the belt loop so it goes basically right up there, right up there. Trim it down to about 1.5 inches, I think. Yeah, right about there. And then it'll come down just maybe right there, and then I'll round it over. And hopefully by then I'll have a smaller punch, and I can use rivets. I'll rivet down here in the back side and get rid of, those visible fasteners there. But yeah, I thought the Kydex itself, I thought it turned out pretty good. All I have for a press is 2 pieces of like 3/4 plywood and then some of the Kydex forming foam. And I just put it all together and put some the C vice grips like guys use for body work. Those big these things. I use these. Use those and this big C-clamp. That's what I use to squish the press down. One thing I did do different with this holster, or not holster, this sheath, that I've never done before, is I invested in a heat gun. So instead of sticking my Kydex sheets in the oven and hoping that I don't overheat them, I got a heat gun, nice little Wagner, and I tell you what, that gives you a lot more control over your heating. You know, I know there's a lot of guys out there that do a lot more Kydex work and they use like little toaster ovens and stuff, and they've done enough of the work that they're good enough that they know when to take it out, or they use an infrared thermometer to make sure that the surface temperature of the Kydex is right where it's supposed to be. I don't monitor the temperature, I go by feel right now. I should probably get a thermometer and go by temperature, but yeah, because you see, I think if I'd gotten this Kydex a little bit warmer, I might have got a little bit better definition when I pressed it, but I'm happy with the way the Kydex turned out. I just need to straighten out how I'm going to do the leather, so I don't really care for that width of a belt loop. But yeah, love the knife, love the holster, or not holster, the sheath. Show everybody some stuff that I got for my first knife build, if I ever get around to it. Got some OD green micarta scales, got 2 sets, so I can do 2 knives. Some stainless steel tubing for the lanyard hole, or lanyard through, and some steel rod for the pins. This is all 1/4 inch. It's 1/4 inch rod, 1/4 inch tubing. Here's the belts that I got. You can see the belts I got for the for my 1x30. These are ceramic belts from Super Grit, and they are. Let's see if I can remember what we got here. Got 220, 120, and oh boy, what is it? 36. Yeah, 36, 120, and 220. I don't know. Right now, I don't see a reason to go finer. This belt you see on here is the belt that came with the grinder. It's just it's an aluminum oxide belt, and I use that mainly for rough work. That way I don't knock all the teeth off my 36 grit ceramic belt. And I also use this for Kydex. I'll use this when I'm rounding my Kydex, you know, working on the edges and stuff. But yeah, so that's the knife project, or the knife shop project that I'm working on. Haven't started the first knife project yet. We'll get going.